Yo, what's going on Facebook, YouTube? We're back again with Roar Sports Media. We're going to be doing a first round mock draft, and we have some special guests today. The boys from Lonestar podcast. Glad you guys come back on. I'm pretty happy that at this point we're almost a year like doing this together, knowing each other, and then being on the Twitters and all that stuff. Happy you guys to come on. Cody, I guess go to Lone Star first, and then can you just introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah. My name is Cody Johnson, man. Thank you for having me on, Rory. I do remember the first time you came on a video with us. That was about a year ago. It was last year's.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, so that was good. But I'm Cody. My Twitter ad is the same ad that's in my name box in the bottom left hand corner, football_Lonestar or FB_Lonestar. I'm a Texans fan. You can follow me on Twitter, and I'm just tweeting stuff about the Texans at least once a day. So, but yeah, that's all it is for me.
All right, Mr. Wolf, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm Cody Johnson's counterpart there on Lone Star Football. He's the Texans fan. I'm the lifelong miserable Cowboys fan. So I'm not on Twitter as much as Mr. Johnson is, and for Cowboys Nation, it's probably a good
thing. Yeah. I'm in the same boat of being a miserable fan. Not too happy about my Bengals free agency. I mean, I'm not like that it's going to hell. It was just kind of like, it could be better, kind of, Yeah, guys, appreciate you guys coming on, all that stuff. Coming on a year, always good to have you guys on. We're gonna be doing a first round mock draft, and we're gonna be doing about 2.5 minutes per player. I'll be going first. My co-host Jordan will be going second. Mr. Lone Star, Cody Wolf. All right, not Cody Wolf. Cody, the Lone Star, first one. We'll be going 3, and then Wolf will be going 4. I'm just gonna call you Wolf, okay? Cody. Okay, so it's just Cody and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, we're gonna get into it, and I think I probably have the easiest pick because everyone's known he is pretty much going number 1 since coming out of high school and then winning a championship with Clemson. We're going to start the draft right now. And for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I am in Jacksonville right now, and I can't wait to watch him play. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draft Trevor Lawrence. And if I'm the Jags, I'm running to the podium for this because that's my franchise quarterback for as long as, I can keep him. And hopefully it's not a drama queen. Boom. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I had the easiest pick just because, he kind of has everything. He has a championship. He has a production in college. He has the game started. He has all the measurables. He's got wheels. He's got an arm. And he's got the look of a franchise quarterback. I guess Trevor Lawrence going to the Jags is just kind of like a no-brainer at this point. It's just, it's consensus. So me picking there is, everyone knew. Jordan, I think that yours is the more interesting one at 2. Are you ready to go?
Well, yes, of course. Well, because, I mean, you really got to look at number 2 pick in the Jets and what they are. Obviously, we feel like they're going to draft a kicker first overall, but because it's the Jets, probably not. Zach Wilson is very gonna probably be their first pick, but I think they're gonna keep the more experienced vet Sam Darnold, and I think actually they're gonna go with the best receiver in the draft, and that is going to be Jamar Chase. I think they're gonna take Jamar Chase. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Why do you think Chase over the other wide receivers?
Why do I think Chase over the other wide receivers is just because I think what you have with him. Look who was throwing to him. And who was Joe Burrow. I think he's coming from a very good program. I think he's the receiver that could be most ready to go. And, I mean, he's just a stud. He really is. So, and I think it's just his name. It's a big name. I think he's coming from a really solid program. And so I think the Jets take Jamar Chase.
Okay. So Jamar Chase coming off the board for the Jets. Okay. I mean, I like the pick personally. The Jets need a wide receiver. They need a number one. They need a dog, honestly, just out there to control the field. So I mean, I actually like the pick in Jamar Chase going to the Jets. And I don't hate Sam Darnold. I hope that if he gets competence behind him, coaching him, organization behind him, and continue to help him, I think that Sam Darnold can be your guy. Do you guys have any thoughts on it?
Man, for me, it's hard for me to see them pass up on Zach Wilson. I think they just want a clean slate at quarterback, and they already have another first-round pick later in the second, 2 next year, so they're able to build around him a little bit. I mean, I like Chase. You actually stole my pick for the next pick, so I have trouble seeing that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I agree completely with Jordan that I do believe Jamar Chase is without a doubt the best wide receiver in the draft, which is kind of a tall sell after what we saw, Devonta Due and Jalen Waddle, those guys. Any other draft, you could probably definitely see them being the number one wide receivers, but just that year with Burrow that he had. However, the pick itself, I agree with Cody, especially a first-year head coach. I'm sure that guy wants to hit the ground running. The leashes get shorter for everybody in the NFL. It seems like the past 5-10 years, as far as regardless of position, if you're a quarterback or you're a coach, guys just don't get the leeway that they used to. So Robert Saleh, I think the best way to maybe kind of gain some momentum going in there for New York is maybe taking a quarterback. I don't necessarily disagree with the pick, but personally myself, if I'm the Jets, I'm taking Wilson.
Okay, fair enough. But he's off the board for us. Jordan picked him. I don't think. Well, I actually think the Jets have the best pick in the draft. I mean, because they can literally do everything. And I'm telling you, here in Jacksonville, if the Jags don't draft Trevor Lawrence, there's going to be riots. The city will be on fire because they're selling Trevor Lawrence jerseys at the gas stations here. So. I mean, just in general, I think that the Jets have the best pick in the draft because they can just do anything they want. They have a quarterback in Sam Darnold, who I don't want to hate him. I think he has the measure. I think he can be a good quarterback. I think what he needs is weapons. But I think you're also right. New quarterback, new GM, the old GM, but pretty new, and wants to leave a stamp. So I mean, I can agree with you. Yeah, I see where you guys are coming from too. And for me, it's the best pick in the draft. Cody, we're just going to go ahead and go to you.
For sure. So with the Dolphins, the third pick, you got a couple options here that are pretty interesting. Zach Wilson, if he's there at 3, they have a real question there to ask themselves if is Tua the guy. I think they're more committed to Tua than the Jets are to Sam Darnold. So I don't know if they would take him at 3 or not, or if they would try to build around Tua. And Penny Sewell is also interesting, but they just traded for the right tackle from Tennessee, and they drafted a left tackle last year. So for me, with Jamar Chase gone, I'm going to go Devontae Smith. I have no qualms if you take any one of the top 3 receivers. Each has their strengths. Each has some sort of a weakness. Devontae Smith, his frame is kind of a weakness, and stuff like that. But if they're at 3 and they have their choice of all 3 receivers, or even Pitts for that matter, I have no problem with whichever way they go. I like all 3 guys. Devontae Smith, he's not the fastest of 3. That's Jalen Waddle, but he is what should we call it, a dynamic receiver. He can play outside. He can play a little bit in the slot. He can make people miss. Just go watch his highlights, not even his film, and he's making people. His cuts are on a dime. So I wouldn't necessarily call it Tyreek Hill-like, but it's something around that. Maybe like a Deshaun Jackson type, a prime Deshaun Jackson type of player. So that's where I'm going to go with the third pick.
I'm not with you on Deshaun Jackson, but in pure route running, this guy is great. When I see Devontae Smith, I see like a Reggie Wayne, just amazing route runner. The way he can use his body and way he can contort it, so I don't want to say quickness like Chad Ochocinco, but when you watch Chad go for a catch, for me, just watching him, this route running is precise, and I think that's why he was a Heisman this year. for me, like he is the best route runner of the three wide receivers, whereas Jamar Chase, he's kind of that dog. He's kind of like that alpha male. He's a CD Lamb from last year whenever I was watching the draft. CD was my alpha male type guy, my number one. He's gonna be the number one. Okay. That's Jamar Chase for me, and Devontae Smith is that Chris Browner, that Jerry Jeudy type, where it's just kind of like he's going to be open. Devontae Parker's there to help him, so he's going to get good favorable looks down in Miami. So I actually like it a lot. I like the pick. And Tua and Devontae, they know each other. Yeah. So I mean, not bad. What do you think, Cody? Well, I'm sorry, Wolf. My bad.
Yeah, no. I mean, I like it. I feel like it's a great way for Miami, a team that just totally overperformed last year, but perhaps not to their talent level, just to expectations. That is a team that's got players on both sides. They're deeper than people expect. They're just missing a couple key pieces. Wide receiver, you had the Heisman winner who literally just took over, the second half of the college football season last year, almost single-handedly. So totally a swing and a hit here for Miami, I think.
Okay, yeah, I like it. Jordan, do you have any thoughts on it?
Y'all took all the words out of my mouth. Probably the only thing I'd say is that Tua and Devontae Smith. That's definitely lightning in a bottle. If they choose Waddle, not a bad pick either. It's going to be just as fine. Just another speed.
That dude is fast.
But as y'all probably know, I've been saying it for a really long time. Devontae Smith, I think, is going to be in Miami this year. I think it's a no-brainer. I really do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're good on that. Mr. Wolf, can you take number 4 for us?
I didn't expect Wilson to be here at 4 for Atlanta. If that's the case for them, I feel like internally they're going to have a discussion. Matt Ryan literally today just restructured. So after, I think it's next season, after this upcoming one, he'll have a cap hit of $48.6 million. So you can imagine how that's going to manifest itself in terms of a dead cap if they were to try and trade him or even release him. However, we're talking 2 years down the road, all this discussion about these exploding TV deals. That's why, these guys are getting contracts in this salary cap down year, that a lot of us didn't expect. At least I didn't expect to see the numbers out there that we have. So you can't really go against the future. I'll be honest. My pick here, if Wilson was gone, was going to be Pitts for Atlanta. I really think
I like that.
Was going to try and hit the ground running there in Atlanta. They've still got Ridley. They've still got Julio, who's on the downside of his career. Matt Ryan, same thing. Let's try and maximize that. But if Wilson's on the board, I think Atlanta would take him. So I'm going to go Zach Wilson for Atlanta.
Yeah. I love that pick, honestly. Zach Wilson going to Atlanta. I think that you want to get cheap quarterbacks. And, if Matt Ryan does end up, he is the problem next year. And, I'm not saying cut him, but maybe you can find a trade partner. Who knows? Of course, a lot of cap hit. But if this guy is as good as PFF is saying he is, because they are all over him. They love him. I don't know if you listen to the PFF podcast, but they love them some Zach Wilson. And the dude has his 95.4 grade is it's pretty damn high. Him going to Atlanta, I think if he's there, I think he's definitely going there. If he's there at 4, they're taking him just because you want that cheap quarterback deal and deal Matt Ryan to a quarterback needy team, because after next year, the Bears might be needing a quarterback, because I don't know if Andy Dalton's the answer up there. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But I think maybe next year there's going to be some quarterback needed teams, and maybe Matt Ryan's on his way out if that's the pick. Do you have any? Do you have any thoughts on that, Jordan?
No, I would actually that's where I see Zach Wilson falling. Again, I'm a Sam Darnold believer. I think the Jets are going to keep Sam Darnold just because of the experience, just because of the impact the Jets want. And I think Matt Ryan is on the downside of his career. And I think they're going to be looking for the heir apparent. So I think Atlanta, regardless of what's going to happen, I think they're going after Zach Wilson because they're looking, and I think he's the second best quarterback in the draft. So even if they got to trade up to go get him at number 2, which we didn't even think about that, and Jets trading back, I think Atlanta's going after Zach Wilson very, very strongly.
Okay. I like that. I honestly like that. I also would like the Kyle Pitts pick too, by the way, Mr. Wolf. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Cody, do you have any thoughts on it?
No, y'all basically touched on it. If they pass, if he's at 4, they're going to take him. In my opinion, I don't think there's any way they pass on him. They're looking. Really, you got to look to the future at that point. But if he's not there, Kyle Pitts makes a lot of sense. Pitts and Ridley for the future is going to be pretty hard to stop. So I had a feeling Cody was going to go there at 4. So, but I like the picks.
I love the pick too. Okay. Back to me at 5, and I got my. There's reason why I wanted to go first, because I wanted to pick for the Bengals, because I'm the only one that wants to protect Joey B. I don't know if you've paid attention. You probably guys haven't noticed any of the Bengals free agency signings, but they aren't linemen. They're not protecting Joe Burrow, and that it blows my mind that the Bengals have been lowballing linemen, top tier linemen. And, whenever the face of your franchise literally got his ACL blown out last year by, poor line play. So I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going to go here. I'm going to go with a super talented Islander coming out of Oregon, Penei Sewell. So it's for some people like Daniel Jeremiah have Rashawn Slater as a better tackle right now, but when I'm picking talent. And when I see Penei Sewell and the way he moves at 330 pounds, he could be a tight end. Like if he lost about 60 pounds, the kid can just naturally move. If you watched any of his tape, yes, there's some strength issues, but he was a 19-year-old kid, the only season he played, and he wasn't super duper strong. I want to see what he can develop into. Especially having Mr. Pollock, the Cowboys' old offensive line coach, in Cincinnati. I want to see what Penei Sewell can do, because just in intangibles and straight up gradables, Penei Sewell probably has the highest ceiling of any tackle in this class, and I just want to see him in stripes. That's just plain what it is. I want to see Penei Sewell in stripes. I'm definitely getting his jersey if that happens. Do you guys have any qualms with that pick? No.
That makes no sense.
It's the most sense of all the picks.
Yeah. It's kind of just like, what are you doing? Just take him.
If they don't draft him, Burrow needs to pull a Watson.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I love Joe Burrow. Yeah. Like, I don't want to see him get hurt. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I became very apathetic last year after Joe Burrow's ACL got blown out.
Oh yeah.
I was just kind of like, well, what did you expect? Like, what did you like? Oh, bro, I literally almost I wanted to stop watching football because that's how much it hurt. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Quick story, guys. I called out of work that day. The next day, I called out of work and just sat in my room in darkness for about the entire day. But yeah, Penei Sewell at 5 to the Bengals. I personally, if that happens, I'm probably just gonna cry and just thank the heavens that a competent left tackle is gonna be there for Joe Burrow. On the 6, Jordan, you have the Eagles.
It's me and Wolf's most hated team, I'm sure.
This is a non-biased pick, guys. Don't worry about
non-biased. We would love for them to pick a terrible player and then implode again, and get another Jalen Reagor. But to them, I think they're going to go the best player available at the time. And I think that's plain and simple. That's going to be Micah Parsons. I think it's plain and simple. I do. I think they're going to skip Justin Fields. I think they're going to go for Micah Parsons.
Okay.
If they don't, and this is why this one's kind of interesting, it's going to be the wide receiver conundrum. And they'll go after Jalen Waddle. This one's kind of a toss-up between best player available, which I think at this time is Micah Parsons, to they really do need a weapon for Jalen Hurts. And to me, that's going to be your best Well, now I'm looking at Kyle Pitts. I forgot we didn't take Kyle Pitts because if they shop Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, Kyle Pitts, they're just a really big conundrum. I would personally go with Mika Parsons, but you can't go wrong if Jalen Waddle and Kyle Pitts are there available. You just really can't mess this pick up.
So you're going Mika Parsons?
I'm going Mika Parsons because they do have a pretty aging defense, and you saw they're just a mess. The Eagles are a mess.
Okay.
Really.
Do you guys have any qualms with that pick? Any word?
I mean, it's totally not out of the realm of certainly possible for them to take Parsons. They need linebacker help. At this point, though, I feel like the heat starting to trickle in on Howie Roseman a little bit, their GM. And I'm not going to sit here and write Jalen Reagor off. You know, he missed most of his rookie season. But, I mean, we literally just saw Nelson Aguilar, who was garbage in Philadelphia, revive his career in Oakland. You know, and now he's starting to look like a player. That's a team, and, you know, they're losing Jeffrey. Jackson's gone. Not that those guys have really hardly been there the last couple of years, but they need to hit on a wide receiver. And as we see in today's NFL, you don't just need one, you know, good wide receiver. You need a stable of them, if, you know, two at the least. So I could definitely see Waddle there, and like Jordan said, I can totally see Kyle Pitts. You know, Goddard's still in the mix. Ertz is going to be traded or released, I think. You know, they gave him permission today to seek a trade. So I really think offensively they're going to try and, you know, put everything they can behind Jalen Hurts. But there's nothing wrong with drafting Mika Parsons, you know, the best linebacker in the draft. So,
Mr. Lonestar, do you have any qualms with that?
No, I agree with that. Basically everything Cody just said. You know, I can definitely see that they have a slew of issues that they can address. At this point, the teams at this area 6, 7, and 8 might just go best player available instead of drafting off need because they need to, especially the Eagles and Lions. So I'm okay with that pick.
Okay, for me, the Eagles, I think it'd be hard for me not to draft Jalen Waddle. I know he's coming off injury, and I know you just drafted Jalen Reagor. But, I mean, dude, speed kills. If you're going to have Jalen Waddle and Jalen Reagor on the field at the same time, hoping that Reagor is the player that you drafted him to be, it would be hard for me not to take Jalen Waddle or at least kick the tires on Kyle Pitts at 6. But I mean, I don't mind Mika Parsons. I love him as a defender. I hope he develops a little bit more, but just instincts and, you know, just what he's capable of. I heard he's fast as hell, and, you know, from when I saw him in Penn State, he had pretty good instinct, notes for the ball. So I mean, I don't hate the pick either. I think, you know, defense and, you know, is a great pick too. It's just for me, I think I probably would have went Jalen Waddle. Just, you know, they need wide receivers. Yeah. But I don't hate the pick. Cody, Lone Star?
Yep. So with pick 7, the Detroit Lions, having both quarterbacks there, Lance and Fields, is intriguing. I do kind of think they will run a year of Goff and see if they can get anything out of him. I don't necessarily think they will, but I think that's what they might try to do because and next year and the year after they have 2 first-round picks. So what I think they'll do right now is they'll replace Kenny Golladay with Jalen Waddle,
okay,
and just try to run it, see what they can get with Goff. If they can, they go quarterback in one of the next 2 years. So just kind of best player available, build who they see fit right now.
Okay, so Jalen Waddle's your pick?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Boom. You guys have any qualms with that?
It's perfect.
I think so. I think so too.
2 of their wide receivers.
They need wide receivers. I love the pick.
Golladay. Yeah, they got to go wide receiver.
I love the pick. All right. So next up, we got Carolina Panthers. Mr. Wolf, go right ahead.
This is tough, you know, because obviously Carolina, you know, Bridgewater. Look, Bridgewater, he's one of those guys who straddles that line, who he's just about too good to be a backup, but he's just about not good enough to be a real viable starter for you. You know, he's right there in the middle, and I've always liked Bridgewater. So when you have Fields and Lance, you know, sitting there, you have a potential situation to where these guys can come in. They don't have to start right away. Bridgewater can still keep you competitive, but you're also looking at perhaps a generational talent in Kyle Pitts, you know, who I honestly think from just a player-to-player perspective is probably better than the last couple guys who went ahead of him, you know, but that's the way that needs and teams, you know, break down. Matt Rule, I really love what he's building in Carolina. Their record is not indicative of their effort last year. They were in most, if not every single game that they played. I know Justin Fields didn't have necessarily the best postseason, but I think I can see him going Fields. I'm gonna go with Fields as the pick.
Gotcha. Completely agree. I mean, I agree with you. I think they need a franchise quarterback after losing Cam. Like I said, I've said in the past, I don't hate Teddy Bridgewater, but I just can't love the guy. You know, I don't know. It feels like he's always too safe with the ball. You know, it feels like he's never pushing. And to me, it never feels like he's killer instinct enough. I mean, it's not that he doesn't have the abilities to play quarterback, but it's just kind of that killer instinct, that ability to turn it on and go win this game. Yeah. So I mean, I like the Justin Fields pick. He was actually, I think he was the most accurate quarterback last year in college football. So I mean, I love it. I like that pick. Do you guys have any qualms with it?
I think that's what Carolina is hoping for. To one of those two guys to fall. If both fall, then they got a decision to make. But Teddy Bridgewater is just a limited quarterback. And Joe Brady, we saw at LSU with Joe Burrow, they want to push his kind of style of offense was to push the ball down the field, and Teddy Bridgewater just doesn't do that. So I think they're looking to replace him. If one of those two guys falls, I think that's where they're going with the pick. Even though, like Cody said, Kyle Pitts, it's surprising that he's still on the board, but he probably should have went earlier than this. But
yeah,
was that my pick?
No. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's how it felt at the time. I mean,
Carolina's hoping for this draft right now.
They're like, oh Jesus, yes.
My issue with Pitts and why I think he falls, and this is why I'm not as high on him probably as y'all. This dude's an injury magnet. Like he's been injured quite a lot. He was injured quite a lot through his college career, quite often. I think he missed quite a bit of last year too when they really needed him. So I'm kind of hesitant on guys who have a track record of injury and selecting them as it. But again, talent could outweigh it. We could be looking at, a Gronkowski type guy who, he may be injured for an entire season, but when he comes back, he's still the best tight end in football. Or one of the best tight ends. Sorry, I forgot Kelsey.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get on to my pick, and we'll talk some Kyle Pitts here in a second.
Yep.
Because he can't be on the board for that much longer. So I got the Broncos, man. I don't want to believe. I don't know, man. I guess Drew Lock is in the same conversation as a Teddy Bridgewater for me right now. It's just like I don't hate him as a quarterback. It's just kind of like he's limited, I guess. And that last year I called him a knockoff Dak Prescott. Like a knockoff version of him. So I just don't know if I'm gonna take Trey Lance here because he seems like another project. He has all the tools, and I guess you're banking on that you can develop those tools in Broncos Nation, but they haven't done that before. They haven't developed any quarterbacks at all under John Elway. So taking Trey Lance here, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with the safe pick, but they have Noah Fant. That's the crazy thing. It's like if you take Kyle Pitts, what does that do to Noah Fant? Or does that make the ball can only go around so much. You have Cortland Sutton, you have Jerry Jeudy, you have Noah Fant. I mean, where does Kyle Pitts come out in that, And Noah Fant's still on his rookie deal, and you took a tight end in the first round 2 years ago. So what I think right here is that they're drafting for their future on the defense with Von Miller leaving. And I think I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit brash. I'm gonna brass balls. I'm going Kwity Paye. I'm going Kwity Paye for the Broncos, and I think that Von Miller's on his way out. I think we saw he's injury prone. Not injury prone, but he's getting up there in age, and you can't count on him for an entire season. Bradley Chubb came off an ACL injury, I believe the year before last. So I mean, you need edge rushers, and I like Kwity Paye coming out right now. What do you guys think? Is that a bit too bold?
No, I mean, Paye, he certainly, this last season, he finally put all those measurables to use, and we saw him finally start to get some on-the-field production, which the year prior was kind of the knock on him, was like, this guy's a freak, but it's not necessarily showing up on tape. This year, in a limited sample size, it showed up on tape, and then at his, combine pro day, equivalent, whatever we've had to deal with this year, as far as, the drills that I think really matter, like the 3-cone, your shuttle times and stuff like that, he really excelled. So, Denver, I agree. If let's say that Justin Fields, will fall, I would expect Denver to pull the trigger. I'm not writing Drew Lock off yet. I still love that guy's arm. I just don't think he's gotten the development after 2 years, not to mention the injuries he's dealt with, which is also an issue of his own in and of itself. But I don't think that Paye is as brash a pick, as you may think it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
You agree? All right, cool. Cool. So Kwity Paye going. I mean, Denver won a Super Bowl off defense and rushing the quarterback. So I think that's just that's how we're gonna win. I mean, okay, quarterback play, defense wins championships, kind of deal. Because John Elway can't get it. He can't develop a quarterback. Jordan, you're next, and
I'm sure this is the
you know what, Mr. Wolf.
I'm
I'm gonna also let you. I'm gonna let you make your own little commentary on since you're a Cowboys fan. Jordan, go ahead.
All right.
Who are you taking?
Right here is we're looking at 12, 13, and 14. This is going to be the decision for the Dallas Cowboys. What do they need more? What are they picking up in free agency? Me personally, I think you need to go for your heir apparent. I think you're looking at, you just signed your quarterback, and I think you need to go with the best tackle that's available right now, and it's a boring pick, but I think it's the safest and the smartest. I think you go with Rashawn Slater. I actually like that pick the best out of all of them because I think he's got a good talent. I think he's a great tackle, and I think you need to protect Dak because when Tyron Smith goes down, that entire offensive line falls apart, and we've seen it year after year after year. And so I'd go honestly for that. Even though I like Barmore and I like Farley, I just think you got to protect your investment, the contract.
Okay, so we're going Rashawn Slater.
Unless my fellow Cowboy has something else.
No, I mean, I feel like for Cowboys Nation, Slater may not be the sexiest pick, and that's going to ruffle some feathers. But I also remember way back when they took Travis Frederick, and everybody thought that was just the most awful pick at the end of the first round. The guy ended up, being a borderline Hall of Famer, would have been, if he hadn't come down with an autoimmune disease. So, unsexy doesn't always mean bad. I hate to beat a dead horse here, but Kyle Pitts is there. Now, it sounds like an excess of resources on the offensive side of the ball, but let's think about it. One way or the other, either Gallup or Cooper are gone after this season. It's going to be one of those two. Dallas is not keeping both of those guys with CD Lamb. So offensively, I feel like there is a best player available argument here. And then, of course, Rory, you guys are trying to lose him. Dallas is hurt for corners. I don't necessarily think that any of these corners are worth the 10th overall pick. I do like Farley, and I like J.C. Horn. Those are my top two guys over Eden Surtain. But Rashawn Slater, I've got no issues with that. If he's there at 10 and they take him, I'll smile and be a happy man.
I agree with you, honestly. My only thing with Pitts right here is you have. I mean, not saying Jarwin's a world beater. He's not. He's also not a bad tight end. Schultz showed he can do a little bit of catching too last year. He showed out a little bit at tight end. Yes, you are losing probably Cooper or Gallup next year. But dude, there's so many good wide receivers in this draft. If you can't find someone who's going to replace Gallup or Cooper, well, probably not Cooper, but maybe Gallup in this draft, man, it's hard for me to make a case for you to take Kyle Pitts here when you have that much offensive firepower. But what you don't have is, Tyron Smith for an entire season.
That I do agree with. Yeah. I feel like the mismatch potential there.
Yeah.
I agree with the CeeDee Lamb pick because you made a strength even stronger. So now you're making your offense even stronger with an eye towards the future. But if we don't take a tight end at 10, I'm certainly not going to cry about it.
Okay. So pick is Rashawn Slater. Cool.
Slater, that's mine.
Rashawn Slater going to be a Cowboy. All right. Mr. Lone Star, you're up.
This one's just it has to be Kyle Pitts here. I have a hard time, to be honest, seeing the Cowboys pass on him. I know y'all need defense. I know y'all need an offensive lineman, but I think you gotta go best player available. I think it's Pitts at that point. I mean, even he can line up in line, he can line up in the slot, he can line up out wide, and he is a great weapon, mismatch weapon. But he's also what makes him this valuable to this point for me is he's a good inline blocker. He's at least average inline blocker. I went and looked at the film, and it's hard for me because, like Cody said, they lose Gallup or Cooper. I mixed their names up, Gallup or Cooper there next season, and it's going to be hard to stop Kyle Pitts and CeeDee Lamb for years to come. So, I get the Rashawn Slater pick, and then for the Kyle Pitts to the Giants, you get oh my God, Danny Dimes. I was blanking on his name for a second. Another weapon there, and he's probably the number one target at that point. Who are you looking at? Shepard?
Bro, but they had the man, the myth, the legend. John Ross is now a Giant. John Ross, 4.22 is now a Giant, man. Danny Dimes gonna be throwing dimes downfield, bro.
They actually had a surprisingly good defense last year, and I just see Pitts as the best player available at this point, and I think that's the pick they got to go with if he's there.
Okay. I mean, I'm with you. And maybe going back to the Cowboys real fast, maybe they could go with the Samuel Cosby. Maybe he gets the second round, maybe, or maybe an Alex Leatherwood to address the tackle issue. It's just, for me, I think that you protect your asset. You just paid Dak $40 million. Keep him upright, and get another blocker for Zeke, because you need to get him going again too. But the Kyle Pitts pick going to Giants, yes, get weapons. Make it easy for Danny Dimes. Make it to where it's almost unfuckable. Make it to where it's just the easiest decision. Just let go of the ball. I like that pick. Jordan, what do you feel? How do you feel
I like it. That's exactly where I see. Their Ingram wasn't it. The tight end situation is it.
To the Pro Bowl.
I don't know. He had a good season, and they needed tight ends. Maybe there were injuries that year on tight ends.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like Kyle Pitts. That's actually ideally where I see him going. I don't see really, other than the best player available, as we've mentioned time and time again, I see the team with the most need for a tight end is the New York Giants. So I really like that pick, as much as I don't want them to, but I like that pick a lot.
All right, so I think we're going to get to Mr. Wolf. You're up, San Francisco.
This is an interesting situation because I think they need quarterback. I feel like Shanahan at this point is probably convinced, just as most of Niners Nation is, that Garoppolo's not the guy. He can be a guy, but he's not the guy. I know a play caller like Shanahan, he probably wants a franchise signal caller there. But they also need corner. You know, that defense kind of lost a lot of its luster. Of course, I can't even begin to attest to the amount of injuries that they had last year on both sides of the ball. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it in the entire time I've been watching the NFL. I've never seen a team so decimated. But let's stick Trey Lance in there behind Garoppolo maybe a season or two. And I feel like Shanahan's going to look at that skill set, and he's probably going to salivate.
Mm-hmm.
And credit also goes to John Lynch. That dude's been able to fill out the roster for him. So I do like a Caleb Farley here. But Trey Lance, I mean, we're talking about a guy, I know at North Dakota State, but 2 years ago, didn't throw a single interception all year.
Mm-hmm.
He can move. So I got Trey Lance going to the Niners here.
Gotcha. I'm not gonna lie. I love that pick. I absolutely that's even one of my favorite picks so far. So I think if someone can develop Trey Lance and get the most out of him, I think it's Kyle Shanahan. I think that he can develop the hell out of a quarterback. He made a man. What's the name of their backup QB?
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins. He wins some games. You know, he doesn't nearly have the weapons that Trey Lance does. Trey Lance going to San Francisco, I'm not gonna lie, I love that pick. I think they get the quarterback of the future with Kyle Shanahan. I think they still got about 3 more years on their deal, right, between John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. So 3 more years guaranteed with a brand new quarterback in the Bay Area. I love that pick. Do you guys have any qualms with it?
Nope. I like it a lot.
I love it too. All right, so I'm on the clock, and I have the Chargers. You know what? I think I gotta go coverage. Protect the pass. I think I'm going with Caleb Farley here. I think that you can never go bad. You never go wrong with the top cornerback off the board, especially if you're needing it in coverage, because Derwin James hopefully comes back healthy next year. And they already have a hell of a pass rush, and they addressed some of their offensive line issue in free agency between signing Lindsley and the Patriots, the Steelers. I think I-line or something like that. I don't know, but they addressed their offensive line. Now you need to attack your secondary, and I'm going Caleb Farley here. I think that he just oh my God, I can't even speak right now. What is going on with me? I think when it comes to pass coverage, like he's probably the best CB on the board right now. I like him. I do like Patrick Surtain, but I think I like Caleb Farley's tools a little bit better. Does anyone have an issue with the pick?
No, they just released Casey Hayward, so it makes a lot of sense. The only thing is if Rashawn Slater's there, I think they have a question asked there. Mm-hmm. But since he wasn't, I have no problem with that pick.
Yep.
Gotta stop the Chiefs. You need talented secondary, man.
You need to get after Pat Mahomes and make sure he doesn't have easy windows. And I think that Caleb Farley fits perfectly there. That's my pick. Jordan, you're up, man. You got the Vikings.
This one, man, I think you're gonna go with the best available for the Vikings. Just looking at their schedule, they got outscored a lot. They could put up points, so they're not really looking for weapons in the running game or wide receiver. I think you're going to have to go with the best player available right now, which would most likely be Christian Barmore. You've got to get a defensive line, start rebuilding that defense. The only other person I see them actually being very accessible is it would be the linebacker Elijah Vera Tucker. They're going to go defense. It's not going to be anything flashy, but I like Barmore. That man is a monster. I think Tucker is a very talented linebacker, but Barmore for your defense is the way to go for the Vikings.
Wait, say Elijah the guard?
Oh no! He's a linebacker. He's a linebacker.
The one from Notre Dame.
USC.
No. He's a tackle, dude.
No, he's no.
Elijah Vera Tucker. He's a USC. He's a tackle right here.
Is he a tackle? Oh wow,
I think you're thinking about Jeremiah Owasu Karamoa. My bad.
There we go. My fault.
Yeah, there we go. I was like, I think you're looking at three names and you're mixing them up. So you're going linebacker JOK.
No. I'm going Barmore.
Barmore. Okay, you're going defense. I love that. I like that pick. Their head coach is all defense all the time. You know. But I mean, you're going Christian Barmore. That's the pick. But for me, I think that I would personally go offensive tackle with Christian Darrisaw here. I like him as a player, and they just got rid of Riley Reef. I think that they need to, if they don't attack that need in free agency, then I think that you go BPA tackle right here because Kirk Cousins can't move, and you need to at least try and protect him. But I like Baltimore too. I love that pick also. Do you guys have anything to add on that?
I mean, the only thing I would say is I'm not quite up to date on Minnesota personnel-wise in terms of defensive tackle, but they did just sign Dalvin Tomlinson.
Oh, yeah.
$22 million deal. So in terms of positional need at tackle, it might not be, quite the thing. I agree. I could definitely see Darrisaw there. And even with the investment they made last year in the kid Dantzler from TCU and another hand corner, I could potentially see them going safety because they're probably going to lose Anthony Harris.
Agreed.
Okay.
I like it. So I think we're on to the next pick, Mr. FB Football, Lone Star.
So I got the Patriots here at 15, and I think I might shock y'all a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to go Mac Jones here.
Ooh.
He's been rising up boards, especially in the Draft Network's mock draft machine. He just feels like a Patriots guy, does he not? Like one of those guys who's not the most overly gifted or athletic per se, but a guy that's a field general type that's going to do exactly what you need him to do. Like he kind of reminds me of Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit. That might be not a great comparison, but that's why Cam's not the answer here. And they're not known for taking quarterbacks in the first. They got Jimmy Garoppolo in the second, then of course Tom Brady in the sixth. I just think with all what they've done in free agency, spending like crazy, like we've never seen them spend before. I think they go and get their quarterback of the future here.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I could totally see Mac Jones going to the Patriots. I think with the signings that they just got, I don't know if they fit Cam Newton's play style. Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, Nelson Aguilar, and then Bourne from the 49ers. Yes. I mean, I think that Cam's going to do all right with them. I think that Mac Jones would use those pieces a little bit better eventually. But I think Mac Jones is going to be a Patriot also. It just kind of just reads Patriot.
Yeah.
Jordan, do you have any qualms with that?
No. That's where I've seen everybody ideally him going. He looks like he's going to be a Tom Brady kind of pick. And obviously nobody can beat Tom Brady, but that has some very similar feels. Mac Jones looks like they're getting up weapons. They got Cam Newton to kind of groom them for Mac Jones for a year. Cam Newton to go play trash football for one more year, and then Mac Jones takes the helm for 2 years in the second year.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Wolf, do you have anything to add?
The only thing I'll say is Steve Sarkisian, who was Alabama's offensive coordinator there for Mac Jones, he said that he was able to install more of his offense with Mac Jones than any other quarterback he's ever coached. And we all know New England doesn't like stupid players. So I agree, 10 out of 10, Patriots pick all the way.
For sure. All right. So Mac Jones is going to be a Patriot. He's going to learn the Patriot way. And Mr. Wolf, you're on the clock for Arizona.
I honestly think this is pretty easy. I think Arizona is going to wind up replacing one Patrick with another. They were 31st in yards allowed in defense last year. They gave us 38 passing touchdowns. Peterson's not gone yet, but it's looking that way. Even with him back there, that pass defense was a shell. I've got Patrick Surtain.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know where else they could possibly go here. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah. I agree with that. And offensive line could be ideal, but question: what if they move Peterson to safety, like it's been rumored he's been willing to do?
And
As
you still
well.
have to go corner. Yeah, you still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Draft him and then move Peterson to safety. How do you feel about that secondary at that point?
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now in the draft, I just don't see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a Gregory Rousseau, or maybe add another wide receiver in Rondale Moore, because I don't think Christian Kirk is, a very very high end wide receiver that's going to complement DeAndre Hopkins. But I mean, I like Patrick Surtain there. I think you're right. I think that's probably if he's there. I think that's the move. Yeah, or a Rashad Bateman too for wide receiver. But I like that pick. Okay, and 17, I am up. The Las Vegas Raiders. I think this is pretty easy. I think they just got rid of one of their tackles, and they got rid of Rodney Hudson. They cut him today. So, I mean, I think that you need to strengthen an offensive line again for whoever their quarterback is going to be. Between Mariota or Carr. And then, I think you need to open up the run game for their young running back. So I think Christian Darrisaw, I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger right now and get an offensive tackle opposite of Colton Miller. So I think that's just where I'm going to go for the Raiders.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Darrisaw as a player. He's one of those guys where if Dallas were to potentially trade down, garner some picks, maybe middle of the first, low, mid-20s, and he's still there, that dude is violent. He's got some violent hands.
Oh, yeah.
I love his film. So, yeah, they just lost Trent Brown. Like you said, Hudson's gone. That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at that point, it's just what made sense. Because, I mean, they need edge. They need interior defensive line. So, but I think that you just got to protect. You got to protect your quarterback. You got to open up holes in the run game. I think Darrisaw is the pick. With that, Jordan, you're on the clock with Miami.
All right. Well, I would have went if Darrisaw was available. I would have said Miami's going definitely after them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you've got to protect Tua. You've got to protect him, and it's going to be your next available tackle, which if I can find him, I think it's going to be your next best available tackle.
Sure, you don't want to take Barrett Tucker here?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there you go, Vera Tucker, the guy I thought was a linebacker for a moment.
No, I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, Jay again. Yeah. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think I like Elijah Vera Tucker here, protecting Tua. He came off the injury back in Alabama. He played okay last year, but I didn't think that was worthy of a top 5 pick performance for me from Tua. But who knows? Year 2, more time under your belt, and adding an Elijah Vera Tucker helps with protection. I like him a lot. You guys have any qualms with that pick?
No, they added another USC offensive tackle last year in the first round in Austin Jackson. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possible they go back to that well again. That guy could potentially slip inside if need be, for his first year. They've got needs inside as well.
Yep, makes sense. It's all right. Mr. Lonestar, you are up.
So with the Washington pick, this is kind of hard for me to place. There's no quarterback here for them to take. At least it's too early for them to take one. They could trade back, but I think they either go offensive tackle here, which either best available, or they go wide receiver. And I think I'm gonna go Rashad Bateman here to get weapons for whoever is the quarterback.
Okay.
And run him next to McLaurin. and I think it'd be hard to stop at that point. This one was the hardest one for me to pick so far.
Okay. No, I like Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota a lot. I think he's got a lot of talent, a lot of upside. And there with Scary Terry, I think that, it only helps him develop because he's not going to get, any coverage rolled his way. Scary Terry's, he's an absolute monster. He's been an absolute monster since day one. And Rashad Bateman just does his role to complement him. I hope I see Fitzmagic out there just throwing, Terry's out there somewhere. Yeah, I want to see Fitzmagic just throwing it up for Scary Terry. So Rashad Bateman's the pick here.
Yep.
Boom. Got it. Cool. Any other thoughts for the football team?
Nope, I like it.
Cool.
I like it a lot.
And with that, Mr. Wolf, you're on the clock for Chicago.
Once again, I feel like it's really not likely for any of those quarterbacks that are first round worthy to fall to Chicago, as much as that idiot Ryan Pace may hope so. How he still has a job, I'm not sure. But
I'm not either.
Yeah, you look at the tackle situation, all the conceivable tackles are off the board. I would have penciled in Bateman here for Chicago just because there's all that uncertainty around Allen Robinson, and past him, there's really not much. I feel like that's a team that's going to have to do something offensively next year for Nagy and Pace to keep their jobs. So I really like Rondell out of Purdue. Physical dude, strong as all get off, a playmaker. He pretty much almost single-handedly defeated Ohio State. It may have been last year or a couple years ago in that huge upset when Ohio State was number 2. Ever since then, that dude's name's been in my head. And it's the same old story for Chicago. They need offensive help. It's been that way for decades. It's probably going to be that way for decades. So I've got Rondell Moore in there for the Bears.
God, you're so right. The Bears, as long as I've been knowing about football, their offense has been not good. Like not nearly good. Their defense has always been pretty okay, but their offense, Jesus Christ, it's how can no one get it right?
Yeah.
It feels like they've never had a franchise quarterback, and when they did in Cutler, he just didn't give a shit about football.
Oh yeah.
So I think at this point you can't reach for a guy out of Florida, Trask. So yeah, Rondell Moore, I like to come out of Purdue. Any other thoughts on that pick? Any other way you would have gone?
No.
Nope. Cool. Then at 21, I am back up on the Colts. They just got Carson Wentz, and I just want to say, called it here. I said that was the best fit for him, and he went there. So, good insight from the Roar. Man, the Colts can kind of go anywhere they want here. I would have loved if Rondell Moore would have been here for them to pick, because I think adding a receiver to the mix would have been great. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another linebacker next to Darius Leonard. And I'm going to go with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah out of Notre Dame. I think that this guy is a freak. He has just crazy measurables, fast, strong, and willing tackler. I think next to Darius Leonard, they could be a hell of a linebacker tandem. So I'm going to go with JOK out of Notre Dame here to the Colts at 21. Cool. Anyone got any thoughts on that?
The only thing is, they have, for me, is I'm curious if they go that route, which would be a good move. But they have a linebacker, a pass coverage linebacker. Cody, you know who I'm talking about? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Yeah, the name.
It's blowing my mind. I know they like the guy, and he was one of the best coverage linebackers each of the last 2 years. So I'd be curious to see how they do that. Unless they want to play Jeremiah in middle, he didn't do much of that in college from what I watched, but this is kind of the best player available. There's people that think this guy's better than the Penn State linebacker. If you all know Brett Coleman, he made a whole video on it, and it was kind of informative on
That's the only reason I made the pick, because I was, a big PFF. Clearly, I have a subscription. Like, I listened to the podcast, and they had nothing but great things to say about him. I mean, I'm not an AFC South guy, so maybe. I mean, I'm not a Colts guy either. So maybe they do have a dope ass like coverage linebacker that I just don't know about. Maybe, but I don't know, man. You can never have too much talent, I guess.
Right.
Here,
I'm not saying it's that big by any means. I was just curious what they would do with if I could find the guy.
Maybe they could go with a Gregory Rousseau.
Bobby Okereke.
Edge. Was it?
Bobby Okereke.
Bobby Okereke?
Yeah,
I'll look him up.
He's going into his third year this year.
Okay. I mean, I just don't know a whole lot
about
him. But I'm just seeing JOK there, and I'm just like, oh man, I just heard them talking about. I'm gonna take him here, and Darius Leonard's a superstar. I think this guy could be a superstar just from the way he's being talked up, the way he looks. He's an absolute freak of nature, man. You can never have too much talent.
Right, for sure.
So, I mean, adding a JOK there makes sense. I mean, makes sense to me. You could have a Nick Bolton or a Gregory Rousseau or maybe even a JC Horn. Man, there's a lot of edge right now. But for me, I'm going JOK. Jordan, you're up, brother. You got the Titans.
Right here, the Titans, I mean, the only concern I really have about them is that they have Derrick Henry and then now I'm blanking on their freaking awesome receiver.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Thank you, AJ Brown. They just got rid of this guy named Anthony Davis.
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis. Thank you. I just keep messing up.
The only issue is, do you get another weapon for Ryan Tannehill for him to throw to? And as you said, the wide receivers will be pretty deep, or do you go edge rusher and go after that monster Gregory Rousseau?
And I think Go ahead.
Real quick. They just signed Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree for the outside.
I'm
just saying, but I didn't want to make sure we all were aware that they just signed. And then have Harold Landry as their other outside linebacker.
Yeah, I love Harold Landry.
They got Janoris Jenkins, or else I would have went CB to replace Malcolm Butler with.
They released Adoree Jackson today.
Oh, they did release him?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I saw that on my fake Twitter account, man. They released
that was real. That was real.
Oh.
And that's going to change anything. I think I go with the best cornerback available and go after the JC Horn for cornerback.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you still have Derrick Henry. Their offensive line's pretty much intact. You got Anthony Brown. The wide receiver class is deep. They did get Bud Dupree. I got to go after JC Horn. But they're kind of like the Colts. I mean, you could really kind of where you pick, as long as it's a position of need. You can't really. I don't think you can really mess it up, whether it's a wide receiver, an edge rusher, or a cornerback.
Right, I agree with that. Whether both those teams are picking, they could go a bunch of different routes, and I don't think they'd have a wrong answer per se.
No, I think that with the Titans, I think edge is. I mean, I'm just not a big believer in Bud Dupree. They franchised him, and T.J. Watt was a better option. Clearly, it would be hard for me to pass up on a Gregory Rousseau. 16 sacks in college. Man, just measurables. For me, I mean, for me, it'd be hard to pass up on Gregory Rousseau. But you say you're going JC Horn, Jordan?
I'm going to go because we're going to go with the position of need after I just saw it right here. That was like only a few hours ago. And he got released. Free agency is crazy, y'all. Every single time you update, you have something new. So I'm going.
But that's why I wanted more guys on here, because we would have more information, so that way we could pick with a bigger pool of info. So you're going JC Horn, Jordan?
JC Horn.
Cool. Got it. And Mr. Cody Lonestar, you are up.
So for my pick, this one, Cody's gonna know he's my draft crush this year. It may be a reach to y'all, but I'm going edge Jalen Phillips out of Miami. I think this guy has the potential to be the best edge out of this class. If he doesn't have the concussion history and didn't have to retire after he got hit by a car and like messed up his back, this guy's a top 15 pick. Like he has the frame. He's 6'5", 260 pounds, and can put on more weight up like a Myles Garrett. Like that's what he can be, and he's versatile enough to be able to rush from a 4-3 edge to 3-point stance, or stand up as a linebacker and rush as well. Okay. So I love Jalen Phillips. I think he's better than the other Miami defensive end. Rousseau, yes. And I think if the Jets can land him here at 23, it'd be a great move for them. Okay.
You know the Jets signed Carl Lawson, right?
Right, but they're going to need two ends.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, cool. And I mean, solid defense with the 49ers. They D-line.
Yeah. So, do you think they're going to a 4-3, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, then I love that. Carl Lawson, I think he plays better as a 4-3 defensive end. And with a guy like Jalen Phillips, I like Jalen Phillips too. Love him. I mean, for me with Rousseau, it's just kind of I love the way the dude looks. But Jalen Phillips also another great coming out of Miami. So I mean, I can't hit on that pick. I love defensive linemen.
Yeah.
For me, clearly with my picks, I like to build on the foundations, the lines. Yeah. So Mr. Wolf, you're picking for the Steelers at 24.
All right, I'm going to go. I might mispronounce this wrong, and I know that their needs may not potentially align, but edge out of Georgia, Azeez Ojulari. Look, and I say that because this is a team who there's a few teams out there that consistently draft well, and the most common trait I find in these teams is that they don't give a crap about how big you are. And that's really the only knock on this guy from Georgia. Technically, he's probably the most sound edge rusher in this entire draft, but he's only 6'3", 240. You know, as if no guys in the NFL have ever succeeded rushing the passer at that height and weight. So, Bud Dupree's out. I think they're going to throw him in. I think there's a chance that T.J. Watt, even with his pass rushing prowess, takes on a more comprehensive role in that defense, you know, because I really think that T.J. Watt has the ability to do that. Of course, they don't want to take him away from rushing the passer at all, but if there was more for him to take on, that guy's got the talent level to do it. I think Pittsburgh's a defensive town, a defensive city. They've always been that way. Wide receivers kind of tough. If one of those guys were to fall, I could see them filling that juju void, but the board as it stands right now, I think it's a bit of a reach. I love the kid out of Georgia. Honestly, size is his only knock. And how many times have we seen guys be pure monsters in the NFL, but they slipped just because they didn't do well in the T-shirt and shorts, you know, dog and pony.
Carl Lawson, fourth rounder.
Yeah.
Carl Lawson's fourth rounder, man. But you know, he's an absolute monster. And I think he was only like 6'1", 6'2",
exactly,
like 250.
Do you remember Elvis Dumerville?
Oh yeah,
for the Broncos, he's 5'11". He's 5'11". You know, so
yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna do a quick recap for the guys that are watching on, just in case they're new. 1, we had Trevor Lawrence to the Jaguars. 2, Jets, Jamar Chase. 3, Dolphins, Devontae Smith. Falcons got Zach Wilson at 4. Bengals picked Penei Sewell at 5. Micah Parsons, Eagles at 6. Jalen Waddle at 7 to the Lions. Justin Fields to the Panthers at 8. Kwity Paye to the Broncos at 9. Rashawn Slater to the Cowboys at 10. Kyle Pitts falls to the New York Giants at 11. Trey Lance goes to the San Francisco 49ers at 12. Caleb Farley goes to the Chargers at 13. Christian Barmore becomes a Viking at 14. Mac Jones is Patriot Way at 15. Patrick Surtain goes to replace the other Patrick in Arizona at 16. And Christian Darrisaw goes to the Raiders at 17. Elijah Vera Tucker goes to the Dolphins to protect Tua at 18. Rashad Bateman goes to back up to Scary Terry McLaurin for the football team at 19. Rondell Moore goes to Chicago at 20. JOK Jeremiah Owasu-Koramoah goes to the Colts at 21. JC Horn to the Titans at 22. Jalen Phillips to the Jets at 23. Azeez Ojulari goes to the horrible Pittsburgh Steelers at 24. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pick for Jacksonville again. I think that the Jags can just go any which way right now. I think that I don't know, man. I think right now it's where I'm going to take Gregor Rousseau, edge rusher out of Miami. I think they could use a good pass rusher in Jacksonville to go along with Trevor Lawrence in this draft. For me personally, when it comes to first round talent, I want guys who can get after the quarterback, guys who throw the ball, guys who protect the pass. That's just what I do in drafts, and that's how you build teams for me. So right now I'm going to go with Gregor Rousseau out of Miami to the Jaguars at 25. All right. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
No, he's a great bookend to, man, I'm forgetting his name.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yeah. I was so happy when the Giants didn't draft him. But that's a nasty tandem.
To be honest, I don't know how the Raiders didn't draft him. What are you thinking with Cleveland Ferrell? What are you thinking? No one had Cleveland Ferrell even going in the first round that draft, and you take him at 4? Yeah. Oh my God! All right, but does anyone else have any other thoughts? Yeah, I think he's a great opposite of Josh Allen. To be honest, I completely forgot about Josh Allen for a second. Thank you for reminding me. I was like, man, they need pass rush. They need pass rush. But I was also looking at Nick Bolton there too. All right. So, Jordan, you have the Ravens at 27.
You have the Ravens?
Yep.
No, the Browns.
The Browns.
Sorry, my bad.
You would have thrown my whole pick off.
I made sure I didn't pick another player here and not forget his position.
For the Clevelands, I actually think it's a need. So one of the things I was looking up is that Olivier Vernon. He's a free agent this year. He's rolling into free agency. He's coming off an ACL tear this past season. Nobody's there to help Myles Garrett. They were 15th in the pass rush. And you need somebody big. You need somebody strong, fast. I'm going with Jason Away. Yeah. Okay, guys. He ran a 4.3. He ran a 4.340. The dude is nuts. He is massive. He is just somebody that I can see just compliment. 6'5", 253. He's an edge rusher. And I think if you put him on the side of Myles Garrett, man, that Cleveland Browns defense is going to look a lot meaner.
Okay.
And, yep, I like that pick a lot. Mm-hmm.
I like it. Boom. Cool.
We're going to be excited, y'all.
Whew. All right, you guys have any other thoughts on that? I like the pick too. I think they need another guy to across from Myles Garrett. I think they might have signed a defensive end earlier today, but not anything too crazy. But I like the pick. You guys have any other thoughts on it?
Nope.
Well, me.
Nope. All right. So Cody, you're up for the Ravens.
So this one's a tough one because the Ravens draft so well all the time that I had trouble placing where they might go here. They just lost their edge rusher to New England. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Matt Judon.
But you know what Ravens fans been bitching for a couple of years now is get Lamar weapons. And I think I'm going to go with – he's actually my favorite wide receiver in the draft. I'm going to go Kadarius Toney.
Okay.
Out of Florida. This guy, he seriously – I don't compare many people to Tyreek Hill because his lateral movement is just on another level.
His agility is crazy.
Along with his top-line speed. And Kadarius Toney – it has a top line speed. He is a track runner, but his lateral movement is close to near on par with what Tyreek Hill does. And what would be great for Lamar Jackson is Toney can run deep routes, but he makes a lot of his living on short crossing routes and stuff like that. Short passes make Lamar not have to throw a deep pass and stuff like that. Just keep it short. And Kadarius Toney, I mean, watch his film, man. He's breaking tackles from 6 foot. And
I watched him against Arkansas.
Oh yeah,
dude,
he
was a monster. He's
absolutely electric wide receiver. You get him the ball and he makes the play. So I think that's the kind of guy Lamar needs. Another compliment to Marquise Brown and the tight end. I'm blanking on names today. Mark Andrews. So I think that's a perfect pick. Kadarius Toney at 27.
It's fine. No one pays us for this, dude. So I mean, it's fine. I like Kadarius Toney too. I watched him against Arkansas and he tore us apart. Very good, very agile. You're right. Like, the dude's lateral quickness is amazing. I actually think he might be more laterally quick than Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill might be like just a lot faster down straight line and go routes. Yeah. But this dude he's slippery. He's kind of like a mix between Tyreek Hill and Alvin Kamara for me. Like he's just slippery.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can see that.
Right. Yeah. He can just his contact balance is pretty crazy.
Right.
So Kadarius Toney of the Ravens right here, and you're right. It doesn't force Lamar to throw downfield, which is not his strength.
Right.
But it gives him a shorter in route guy to move.
And most of his works out of the slot, so the shorter drag route stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. Anyone else have any thoughts on it?
He stole my pick.
Ooh. I think that they could have gotten Tevin Jenkins here or Alex Leatherwood because Orlando Brown. Apparently the Ravens have 2 left tackles. Yeah, so I like Kadarius Toney here. Mr. Wolf, you're up for the Saints.
Okay, for the Saints, like I said, I was going to go Toney. Obviously, they just got rid of Emmanuel Sanders. I feel like Sean Payton, though they've done a great job building that team completely, he's still an offensive guy. He's going to need to stack the deck in his favor. I feel like with weapons for whoever's going to succeed Breeze, if it ends up being Hill or Winston or whatnot. So right here for the Saints, I've actually got them going Carlos Basham. Trey Hendrickson left in free agency, so there is a void there on the edge. And I'm throwing Basham in here, but a name who I like, and this is a guy who I think is going to be one of those dudes. He may not be a first-round pick, but he's probably going to go higher than anybody expects, is Quincy Roche from Miami.
Oh, I do like that. I like
that dude's tape is phenomenal, and I know we've got Rousseau and we've got Jalen Phillips, but Quincy Roche, he's kind of that forgotten guy in there. And you watch him, his get-off is insane. He's violent. He closes. I love his film. Wouldn't be surprised to see him in this area, but I'll go Basham. Okay.
Carlos Basham is going to the Saints to replace the new Bengal, Trey Hendrickson. So Carlos Basham goes there. Oh, man. Who was the other guy that the Saints traded 2 first-rounders for that is just not fantastic?
I think it's Marcus Davenport.
Yeah.
He was at the SA.
Yeah. Not turning out for him.
He didn't pan out. He was another one of those small school freaks,
I mean, he is freaky. His but it's just kind of like didn't show up. And they traded 2 first rounders for him. My God. All right, so I got the Packers at 29. Man, you know what? I'm gonna give Aaron Rodgers Elijah Moore because he's been wanting receivers ever since last year in the draft. He said he wants some skill players, so I'm just going to go ahead and give him Elijah Moore out of Mississippi. Ole Miss right here for him. First-round wide receiver. There you go, Aaron Rodgers.
I like the pick. I will say real quick, if Toney falls to 29 to Green Bay and they grab him, that is the absolute perfect fit for him. The perfect complement to Devontae Adams. The perfect complement.
I agree, but I think Kadarius Toney could fit in like a lot.
Right. I'm just saying, like, imagine Kadarius Toney with Devontae Adams. Like, that's just nuts.
Yeah, I think Elijah Moore just kind of makes the most sense here. Right. I mean, just keep Aaron Rodgers happy. He's been wanting a skill player since last year. He literally said it in the draft on Pat McAfee's show. I'm going to go ahead and make him happy a little bit as a Packer. Give him a receiver and Elijah Moore. I like him. I don't love him, but, making him happy. All right. You got the Bills at 30, Jordan.
All right. So I would have went wide receiver to complement kind of Cole Beasley,
Stefon
Diggs. But as of an hour ago, Emmanuel Sanders is now a Bill.
That's right. I was like, they just signed someone. I couldn't remember.
They just signed the Bills. So your question is now you basically turn to the defense. I think your offense is pretty solid. Personally, I would just go with your best defensive player available. You could use an edge. You do need somebody to complement your cornerback. I think that's really one of their most needs. But nobody really stands out past the past few cornerbacks we picked. Surtain and Horn.
I do like Asante Samuel here. I like Asante Samuel.
That is the one I'm thinking of right there, Asante Samuel. He's a very athletic cornerback. I would say he would be the safest pick. One thing, though, to me, I've mentioned this before, and something I've seen personally, I'd take the best running back available. Me personally.
You think so?
I don't think they have a strong run game whatsoever.
Travis Etienne.
Mm-hmm. That would be me. I know I'm kind of going off the books. I think Singletary is their running back. I didn't find him really great and very complimentary. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's the games I watched.
Who did they draft in the third was a running back? Zach Moss.
Yeah.
But with them being so, I typically don't like taking running backs in the first because I just don't find the value in it. Mm-hmm. But at 30, with them just signing Emmanuel Sanders, like they said, and they say they don't like a defensive player, I definitely could see the Bills going running back here.
Yeah. That's why I think I'd actually have to just go with my personal pick. I'd say Travis Etienne over even a defensive player, even though they do need defense.
I mean, I think they need tackle too. I know they just re-signed Darrell Williams to a very good deal. Huh?
Yeah, they're Deion Dawkins as their left tackle. He's solid.
Yeah, and they got Darrell Williams. Yeah, it makes sense. So Etienne going to 30.
I take Etienne. Mm-hmm.
Okay, boom. Travis Etienne is now a Buffalo Bill. Boom. Cody Lonestar, you got the Chiefs at 31.
So this was interesting. Of course, they could go defense, try to build a little bit more on that defense. But with how this free agency has gone for them, I think they're going to go the best offensive tackle available. I don't know if that's Tevin Jenkins or if that's Samuel Cosmi. I've seen one ranked higher than the other on different sites and stuff like that. I haven't watched much of either of them because Texans don't need tackle and we don't have a first-round pick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Samuel Cosmi here. I think it fills a need. I think he might go before this, but I think it's a good pick, especially with them releasing Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher.
I think it makes sense too. I think tackle is the only pick that you can do here. That makes sense for the Chiefs because you let go of Eric Fisher and then Mitchell Schwartz. I think tackle is where you want to do it, especially if you're not going to sign him in free agency. Mm-hmm. I think Samuel Cosmi, I love the pick here. Boom. I think we all like the pick?
Yeah.
No, I like it. Yep.
Cool. And last but not least, Mr. Wolf, can you bring us on home with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I'll be honest. What I, honest to God, think the pick is going to be Travis Etienne here for Tampa Bay. Fournette's a free agent. I don't see Buffalo going running back. Josh Allen runs enough as it is. That offense did not suffer, despite the fact that they, neither Singletary or Moss are RB1s. Buffalo's defense took a huge step back last season from what it was the year prior. But that's not who's on the board right now. So for Tampa Bay, they're kind of do whatever you want. They've so far in this free agency done a phenomenal job of, keeping those guys that they were worried about losing. David,
Shaq Barrett finally got paid, man.
Yeah, Godwin's sticking around, Barrett's sticking around. So if you're Tampa Bay, it's kind of what do you want to do? a big hole I do see is in the defensive interior. Unfortunately, right now there's, at this point in the board, really not anybody on there that warrants that. So me personally, just to wrap this up, I see Aleem McNeil there. I don't see a lot of people talk about him. I like the PFF.
I like Aleem McNeil. I
think he's a great one technique. He's a great one tech. So you know what? We'll go Aleem McNeil since he's right there for you. I
actually do love him out of North Carolina State. I think that he is a 1 or 0 tech, but I think that he can actually get pressure from that position.
The dude's a grizzly bear.
Yeah, I like Aleem McNeil. We talked about him on the top draft at the position, Jordan. But I like him at the pick 32. Aleem McNeil, man.
The one thing I have,
but with Vita Vea being there,
there we go.
They play the same position.
Do they play him They played him at the 5 tech in the Super Bowl. Did they move him there?
Yeah, he can play the 5 tech, but Vita Vea is a freak.
Yeah,
he can play anywhere on the interior defensive, but where I want Vita Vea is in the middle stuff in the run and providing some interior pressure. I think that Aleem McNeil and Vita Vea play the same thing for me. If you still like him here, we can take him. But it's just kind of like I think that they're bringing back Ndamukong Suh.
No,
again.
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone?
He's
gone. Is he gone?
So I see 2 big bodies in the middle, and I think Vita Vea has, the sort of positional fluidity. He is primarily a one tech, but now you've got 2 big bodies to keep guys off maybe the best linebacker core in the NFL.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. You can definitely run a defense that way. Man, why am I? Todd Bowles loves to blitz. So 2 big bodies eating up blocks. Yeah. Okay. Aleem McNeil, 32, going to the Buccaneers. Let's see how we grade it out. So Trevor Lawrence, A+, Jamar Chase, A+, Devontae Smith, A+, Zach Wilson, A+, Penei Sewell. What other pick can you make here, PFF? Like, what the hell?
PFF hates my pick.
Micah Parsons, F, Jordan, boo. Jalen Waddle to the Lions, B. Okay, Justin Fields going 9 to the 8 to the Carolina Panthers. Good. Kwity Paye. Oh, bad pick for me too. Whatever. Defense wins championships. Okay. Rashawn Slater, C+ going to the Dallas Cowboys. A going to the New York Giants and Kyle Pitts. A+ Trey Lance. They love that pick too. A- Chargers, Caleb Farley, Christian Barmore. A, great pick. To the Vikings, Mac Jones, A+. Patriot way, baby. All right. Patrick Surtain, B+, going to the Cardinals. Christian Darrisaw, A- going to the Raiders. Elijah Vera Tucker, D+, going to the Dolphins. Okay. Rashad Bateman, B+, going to the football team. Rondell Moore, B-, going to Chicago. JOK, A- going to the Colts. Yay. All right. So, Titans get J.C. Horns, B+. They rated it out. They didn't love the Jalen Phillips going to the Jets. I like it, though. I'm not going to hate on that pick. Azeez Oluwari, D+, going to the Steelers. Gregory Rousseau, D+, going to the Jags. Boo. B+, Jason Owe, going to the Browns. Good job, Jordan.
Thank you.
Kadarius Toney, B, going to the Ravens. Carlos Basham, D, going to the Saints. Elijah Moore, C, Packers. Travis Etienne, B. Wow, I didn't think PFF would give Travis Etienne a B.
They don't have a run game. Buffalo.
Samuel Cosme, D+, going to the Chiefs. Aleem McNeil.
I disagree with that heavily right there.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I guess they did have better tackles graded. I like Samuel Cosme though. Aleem McNeil going to the Buccaneers. They have it rated as a D. It is what it is. Not a bad draft for most of us. I think we had averaged out pretty well. I wonder. I think I am going to go through this and see who did actually draft the best, and we're going to have a little competition. All right, but hey, so all right, let's go back to this. I appreciate you guys coming on. That was actually a lot of fun. I'm gonna break this up and make videos out of it later. But thank you for coming, guys. Thank you for watching. It helps out. I love having the Lonestar guys on here. Going on a year anniversary of coming on and talking some football. And you know what? Like stuff like this makes it worth it because like you just get to talk football and bullshit with other people that other love the sport. It's an exciting time. Our teams are hopefully doing stuff. You may not love what they do, or you may love what they do. But football is football, and we all love it. And I'm glad that we got to sit here and talk to it. Jordan, how'd you feel about the whole mock draft? This is our first one.
First one, great experience. I liked bouncing ideas off you. I didn't like my F focus.
Ooh.
It was a great experience. Definitely great. Like, subscribe, follow Lonestar, everything. Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you coming on. Can you plug your podcast again?
Yeah.
Where to find you guys?
Thanks for having us on for one, and then the on YouTube it's Lone Star Football Podcast. And then my Twitter is the same app I have right here. But again, this is a lot of fun. This is the first time doing a live one, so thanks for having us on, man.
Yeah, I plan on doing like 2 more. If there are any more, of course, we'll see how it goes. If anything changes, prospects, all that stuff. Someone goes crazy, who knows? I plan on doing at least 1 more. If you guys want to come back on, and we can run it back if anything changes.
For sure.
All right, guys, appreciate you coming on. Everyone, thank you. Like, subscribe, go follow my boys down there. If you're a Cowboys, Texans fan, they love talking about it. They have a good following on Twitter. Lots of conversation. I'm not even a Texans fan, but I jump in there. So you know what? Appreciate everyone coming, watching, commenting. It all helps out. Thank you so much. More to come in the future. More football talk in the future. Thank you so much. Peace.